Hey guys, and welcome back to Senegalese Twisted. Today I'm back again with another review on Maîtresse and I marié. I'm going to talk about episode 12 and oh my god, a lot has happened, so let's just get it. So Maîtresse and I marié episode 12 starts off with one scene where you see that Lalla is talking with Philly, and then there's a parallel scene where you see Marem talking with Amsa, and the scene where Lalla is with Philly, it's like Philly is coming back to Lalla and she's actually asking Lalla like, why did you call for me? Why do you need me? And if you weren't pregnant, I would never come. And then Lalla starts to give her a gift and Philly is like, is this why I came here? And then they sit down and Lalla starts telling her that, you know what, you will never guess what happened, and Cher actually divorced the other one. And this is where Philly actually changes her whole demeanor and she actually gets so happy, and she's telling her, no, are you serious? And then she starts singing a song about first wives and how they are capable and this and that. And I think that in the end Philly is like pretending not to want her presents, and Lala's like, no, just open it, you'll see, I know you better than anyone, and you have to stop your the way she acts, like how she pretends not to want to be friends with Lalla anymore. And Lalla called her out on it and was like, you know what, you have to stop doing that because I know you and I are like sisters. And I think that Philly ends the scene saying that, you know what, I'll take care of you and the only thing we need is the baby. And yeah, that was like a unification of Lalla and Philly because now they're friends again. And in the other scene with Marem and Amsa, it's like the total opposite, because Amsa is actually consoling Marem because she's heartbroken, and Marem asks herself like, yeah, and why can't I be happy? And every time something good is coming my way, it always ends in disaster. And Amsa is telling her that, you know what, we know Cher loves you, and you have to get over it because Cher is living his life as well. You should too, and I'm sure that you'll get someone who is better than Cher. The next scene is Jalika's mom actually telling Jalika about how the detectives came by and talk about the disappearance or the murder, death of her father. And Jalika's mom is actually explaining to her that, you know what, even Cher went to the detectives and they talked about it, and this is and we still don't know anything. And Jalika was like, oh my god, actually we have made a big mistake because we were very negligent, because I thought that my dad did not want to talk to me anymore because I decided to divorce Biram, because we all remember from season 1, Mr. Sanya did not want Jalika to divorce, even though he knew how Biram was treating his own daughter. And so Jalika explains to her mom that she thought that that was the reason that her father did not want to see her anymore. And just besides, before Biram actually comes in, that scene, Jalika's mom is telling Jalika that, you know what, Jalika, I need you to stop worrying about anything. Just focus on yourself, find yourself a good guy, and move on with your life. And you see Jalika actually smiling because that's the moment where Biram comes in. So he's actually giving her diapers for Bebe Malik, and she's like, oh, thank you, but actually it's just an ad. Like, Senegalese people, they really like putting ads in normal shows. Oh my god, it's kind of disgusting, but anyways, so she's really praising the brand of diapers that she got, and then Biram is starting to tell her that, you know what, if you marry someone else, I will get the custody of our children. And of course Jalika does not agree with this, because it is only today that Biram has shown any interest in his own children. And Jalika is telling him that, you know what, you have not even a valid reason, and you should not even have the guts to say this to me, because you married my bestest friend who mistreated and hurt our child, Amina, and now you have the nerve to tell me that I should not marry someone else or even consider someone else being in my life. You have no right to this. And that's it, because they fight so hard that Jalika's mom eventually comes in and asks them both to stop. And she's actually telling Jalika that, you know what, you should not stoop to his level, because if you stoop to his level, you will not even move on. And oh my god, and I want to say that Biram needs to stop, because first of all, what he did to Jalika was way worse. He married Jor, let her mistreat their child, and did not even say anything about it. But now, because Jalika is getting better and he is now realizing how much Jalika means to him and how much she has done without even expecting anything in return from him, now he wants to show interest. But his interest is annoying, because he had his chance, he blew it, and now for him, he's behaving as if Jalika does not have anything better waiting for her somewhere else. And this is actually showing that Jalika does have anything better, and that's the doctor. Next scene is Mustafa with Jilia, and she's actually bringing some really good news, because they got all the numbers in for his records or music, and she's actually telling him that, you know what, the numbers actually kept increasing when we told them you were single. And Mustafa's like, Jilia, I am married. And it's not that she does not want him to be married, but I think that she's more looking at it from a business point of view, that, you know, his girl fans will, you know, buy more knowing that he's single, as opposed to if they would know that he was married. And then she also brings up the scene where Rocky was actually coming in screaming, and where she was talking about the police. They found him, they're looking for him, they found us, they know it was us. And Jilia was like, well, don't forget that I was there when that happened, and it seems like you two have done something terrible. And the point of Mustafa is more that, you know what, I love Rocky and we are a team, and I think that he just wants to protect whatever it is that they have together. And of course Jilia was like, well, don't forget about how I found you, how vulnerable you were, and how I motivated you to get to the point where you are. So I think that in the future Jilia might do something, and Rocky might get into prison for it. That's what I think, but I'm not sure. But it looks really good, because at this point anything can happen. The next scene is Tairu and Jalika. They're on a date and they are drinking some bisap, and I think that they have a nice sea view. And I think that they're just talking, and then at one point Tairu is proposing to Jalika that, you know what, we should actually do a weekend get together. And I think that he's also saying that, you know, because I have some things that I want to tell you, or come clean about some things. So Jalika is like, well, then I have to come clean about certain things as well. And it looks really good, and I think that they will get on a romantic get together. And then mommy comes in with her boyfriend Isiaka, I believe. And Jalika introduces the doctor to her friend and her boyfriend, vice versa. And it's just pleasantries because of course mommy tells the doctor that, you know what, I heard a lot about you, a lot of positive things. And Jalika says the same about mommy's boyfriend. And then they part ways because the doctor actually invites them to join their table. And mommy is like, no, we have some private things to talk about as well. And they just part ways. And then you see that Biram is actually sitting, and mommy walks past with her boyfriend to sit behind him. And at one point, Mansoura, the girl from their office, she works together with Sheikh and Biram and Raki. She comes actually to sit with Biram. And they start talking because she's like, I see that, you know, your face, you're upset. May I join you? And of course he's like, yeah, you can sit here. And she sits there and they start talking. Well, actually she starts talking, and the talk was so good because she's just telling him that, you know what, you have to because she actually asked him that, you know, why are you so sad, why is your face so closed off? And he starts telling her that, you know, everything I want to do, I really want to improve myself, but I keep on making mistakes, or I keep on deviating from the right path. And she's like telling him that, you know what, you are really a very intelligent man, and you have to keep on trying, and you don't necessarily have to change, you just have to be a better version of yourself. And then she also starts reflecting that on herself, because she's like, well, I have a philosophy, or, you know, a motto or a tagline. And I think her tagline was like that every day she wakes up and she makes the best of the day, so that in the end she is the better version of herself. And I think that this was so important because I think that Biram sees everyone in his surroundings or in his family, he feels like a failure. And that Mansoura is the first person that actually looked him eye to eye and actually told him that, you know, we all feel that way, and you should not want to be a whole different Biram. You just want to be a different version of yourself, a better version of yourself, and this is how I do it. So she was actually holding up a mirror, but also saying that, you know, they are the same, more or less. And I think that Biram really took in her words. And something that happened also in this whole scene was that mommy kept on looking at Biram, and her boyfriend was like, why are you looking at that guy? I'm sitting right here. And she was like, well, that's actually Jalika's ex, and he's really a very bad person. He's so mean and evil, and I actually am contemplating whether or not I should get up and tell the girl Mansoura to, you know, to make sure she runs for the hills, because he is not good at all. And her boyfriend started to make jokes about it and was like, this guy, he's so skinny. I mean, I bet the doctor can F him up. And I don't know. I think this triggered something in mommy, because she was like, well, Isiaka, what is actually your goal? And what are your intentions with me? And she was telling him that, you know what, I actually want to get married, and I do not want to play games. And he told her that, you know what, I want that too. And that was the end of that. And then we go back to Biram, and Biram is actually, I think that he's stunned by the conversation he had with Mansoura, because the first thing he does is call Jalika, who was actually downstairs in the same restaurant, and he was telling her that, you know what, I cannot babysit the kids tonight, I got stuff to do. And she was like, no, but you promised. And then he was like, well, now I have something came up and I can't do anything about it. So then of course Jalika is like, well, I have to go home now. And the doctor's like, well, I thought we was going to spend some time together. And she was like, yeah, but Biram, he, you know, made a promise but he can't keep it. And then they left, and he told her that, you know what, I can bring you home if you want. And she was like, yeah, okay, thank you. And I was so scared during this scene that that Biram would actually go downstairs, see Jalika with the doctor, and create a whole scene. Thankfully, he did not. And yeah, I think that it was really nice that Mansoura actually came to talk with Biram about his problems, and give him a little bit of motivation, and for him to look at things a different way. And I'm also glad that mommy has, you know, made it clear to her boyfriend what she wants. The next scene is Sheikh looking over the water and talking to himself, and also reminiscing about his time with Mariam, their marriage, her cooking for him coming home to her, and I would just say the good times. And he's actually saying that, you know, Mariam, I love you still. And I just know that Sheikh still loves Mariam, and this is also really hard on him. So after him reminiscing and talking to himself, his business partner comes, and he's actually giving Sheikh a box, and he's telling him that, you know what, open it. And he's asking his opinion, because it's like a whole jewelry set, and it's like gold, diamonds, and what else. And he's actually asking Sheikh's opinion about it. And Sheikh reflects this to Mariam, and he's saying that, yeah, my wife, it reminds me of my wife, and she also likes, you know, simple jewelry, and this would be perfect for her as well. And then he asked the guy, like, who is it for? And he's saying that, you know, I told you about this Senegalese woman that actually yeah, she caught my heart, and I have been able to watch her grow or be herself in 8 months, and I think that she is the perfect woman for me. And I think that he's just telling him, you know, I want to propose to her or anything, make it serious. And he actually says, well, I will introduce you to her. And that is when I knew that it was going to be Mariam, because how crazy would it be if Mariam comes face to face with Sheikh, and his business partner introducing Mariam as his future wife. That is what's going to happen. So the next scene is it's so beautiful, because it's like girl gang. And it's Marié with Jellica and Mummy, and we all know that, for example, Mummy and Marié were actually drifted apart, and that was because Marié told Jellica about the relationship between Jellica's dad and Mummy, and that was some whole drama of season 1. But in this scene they're all together, and I think it's the first time that Marié is in a scene with Jellica, and also Marié in a scene with Mummy. And at first in this scene, Marié is like, I knew that you were coming to Jellica, but you did not have to bring her. But I think that Jellica was really done with these chicks fighting or not talking to each other. So she was like, hey, we're all together, we're all women, and we need to stick together, us against these men. And I thought that was really cute. And first they start talking about Marié, because she's newly divorced and she can use all the support, especially from Jellica, because Jellica has she actually been divorced? But she's been in kind of the same boat. And then the attention shifts to Jellica, because Jellica starts telling them that, you know, I have a new boyfriend and he's treating me well and he's so sweet and he's so good. And Mummy's actually teasing her, because Mummy's like, ooh, when you talk about him, your eyes are glistening and it's so beautiful. And she's just teasing her. And I think that it's Marié that starts to make a comment asking about whether he is married, or whether she is suspicious of him. And Jellica does not want to hear anything. She's like, hey, I'm not like other women. And she's basically telling her friends, and she's saying that I'm not like other women. I'm not a maîtresse d'un homme marié. Je ne suis pas une maîtresse d'un homme marié. And she's just coming from this point that, you know what, we've been open with each other, and someone that is as good as he is would never do that. And I know him, and this and that. And I think that Marié and Mummy are threading this really carefully, because they do not want to upset her. Because I think that telling Jellica about how he might be, I think that she sees it as something that's her fault, because she was not able to see it. So they're threading carefully and asking her that, you know what, do your best to find out some things about him, do some research, and at least if you know, you know, and then it's good, and then you know how you can go about it. And she does not want to hear anything, because Marié even, you know, told her that, you know what, if you want, I can do some research on him, find out who he married, how he married, his wedding pictures, everything. She was like, I'm a local FBI, I can find out stuff for you. But she was like, no, I don't. And she's telling Mummy, because Mummy asked her directly, so what do you know about him? And Jellica had the nerve to say, I don't know nothing about him, except the fact that he's a doctor, and the fact that he was in love with someone, however she died. And that was all she knew. And but still she did not want to see what her friends were saying. But her friends were like, you know what, just do your best to find out more about him. You don't have to do a whole research paper on him, but, you know, try to find out little things, so that in the end, if you get disappointed, at least it's now, early stages, and not later. And also, it's best just to know, because these men, they might seem like they may show you or make you think that you know them really well, or that they're really honest, but really you don't know what these men are up to. And I think that both Mummy and Marié were telling her that, you know what, the only reason we're telling you this is because we do not want you to go through the same thing we went through. And of course I am a team for that, because I mean, my slogan is I aspire to inspire others by sharing my experiences, because I do not want other people to go through the same things and struggles the way I did. And I think that this was really beautiful, because at one point it was like Maîtresse was saying that, you know what, even though I don't like this chick here, I have to agree with her on this. And this is what sisterhood is about, because you don't have to agree with other people, or you don't have to be friends with other people, but when they say something that makes sense, you have to be able to say that, you know what, I don't like this person, but what they're saying has some truth to it. And I really hope that whatever happens, that Jalika keeps communicating with Mommy and with Maîtresse, because I think that this group thing is really important, not only for Jalika but also for Mommy and also for Maîtresse, and also that they all know what they're going through, so that the others don't have to go through it as well. The last scene is Dalanda with Biram and three other friends, because you have the girl with the headscarf as well, and they're just only reminiscing about their time in school. And it was really funny, and they're just, you know, talking as old friends that actually never lost contact. But we all know that this was their first reunion. It's at Dalanda's house, and then comes the cliffhanger. And the cliffhanger is Tairu coming back home with the bouquet of flowers for his wife, and him looking at Biram, and Biram looking at him, and it was like so awkward. And I know episode 13, shit is about to go down, and you know what, I'm actually going to watch it right now and come back with another video. Yes guys, I am going to watch episode 13 right now, and oh my god, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can ask them at info@senegalesetwisted.com. you can go to senegalesetwisted.com for the blog posts, and see you guys in episode 13.